and far from mine. She's waiting for love to be realized. I'll send her my heart covered as a gift, and hope that you'll take it into her side.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Jack channel. Today we are, I know it's broad daylight, you can see, but this is Lake Mountains. It's kind of windy. We are at Clement Park. I don't know if any of you know the story of the school shooting of Columbine, but this is where the kids all gathered after the boys shot it up, right? I felt like I was being followed. That was a weird feeling. See, that's, I think, the bathroom. See that hill over there? I don't know if you guys can see it, but on top of a hill. I think that's just the bathrooms. It might be over there, look. It's getting cold, you guys can see the mountains. Versus the blue sky over here. Nice and sunny, and we'll probably be really warm over there. And then over there, you see the dark mountains. Crap. But Jackson's never seen it, never watch out for all the geese. It's a little bit nippy out here. The wind is a little bit cold. And we're just in jackets in the middle of November. It's just me and Jackson today. Everybody else went to work, but it's kind of an important part of history for Colorado. This was a big event that happened. I think it's that hill over there. We're going to look. See if we can't find the plaque and the cross that they planted for the kids that died at Columbine. So, it's not it, but we're in an amphitheater. August 26, 1999. Just an amphitheater. Okay, there's that hill over there. Can you get in or drive to there? I don't think so. Because I remember having a park and then you had to walk. And your brother was just a little boy. He was just a little babe. And I think from that hill you can see Columbine. And they planted 13 crosses up there. Obviously the crosses are gone, but I don't know, we just thought maybe we would record and see maybe what, yeah. It's kind of chilly, huh, Jack? Alright guys, we're gonna head up there. That is where it is, but you guys can see the hill over there. But it's nice park. Yeah. Yeah, we've had a couple of parties here, company picnics or something like that here before. But I haven't been here since when they planted the crosses. I mean, it was a big thing in Colorado. It's the first massacre in Colorado. Like, school massacre. After that, people just started doing it, and I don't understand. We might have been able to drive, but it's alright. Got plenty of time. Whew. I don't even know if it's still there, but we're gonna find out. I know they made a plaque or some sort of memorial for the 13 kids that died and the one teacher. You guys can look it up. It's the Columbine shooting in Littleton, Colorado. So you guys are coming along with us today. Well, the doctor had a really bad accident at home. We have a cross that's made of 2x4s. It's pretty big. And it fell off the wall and landed smack on my head. So I had a pretty bad concussion. But now my face and stuff is really swollen. That might be it. But up on top of that hill is where they planted all the crosses. And now there's a fence up there. So I don't know. But we're gonna go look. And remembrance of these poor souls that lost their lives. All because they were bullied. Those boys were bullied and picked on. And I teach my boys to stand up for... Yep. Okay. I don't know if you guys want to screenshot that. Okay, there we go. On April 20th, 1999, in a senseless act of violence, 12 students and one teacher were killed and many others injured at Columbine High School. It was a tragic event that shook the Columbine and Metro Denver community. Horrified and saddened the nation and changed forever our perception of the safety and security within the schools, typical so many across America. Over time, Columbine parents, students, faculty, community leaders designed and constructed this Columbine Memorial to remember those killed and injured that day and honor their lives. This memorial is dedicated to the innocent victims so that they are never forgotten. Columbine Memorial right there. It's hard for me to see because it's so bright out there. So Jackson's going to look. Jackson's really been into this, and I'm not 100% sure why. Columbine Memorial Community. I mean, you guys, this was a really tragic thing that happened. So, let's go check out what Jackson's seeing. Up on top of that hill is where they planted, 12 crosses for the students and a cross for the teacher. Somebody tried to plant crosses for the kids too that did the actual shooting. So we might walk up there and see what's up there. So there might be something up there, but there's some plaques over here. There's Jackson. He's checking it out. I'm not too sure why there was a threat at his school, and thank goodness I teach my kids, you don't bully, you don't pick on, you stand up for the weak and the innocent. So this kid happened to really like him, so he warned him not to come to school, and then the kid pulled out a gun. Thank God nothing happened. But The wall of heading is dedicated to those who were injured at Columbine High School and to all who were touched by the tragic events of April 20th, 1999. I hope people come here to this place to think about how they themselves can be better rather than come here to reflect on death. I used to fight all the time with my sister. I used to pick up on her a lot. I don't do that anymore. I would be misleading you if I said, understand this. I don't. I brought the nation to its knees, but now that we've gotten back up, how have things changed? What have we learned? My dad turned away and cried. You're a Columbine rebel for life, and no one ever take that away from you. The teachers were so amazing. They had such inner strength. They set good examples of how we all could get through it. He was a 4.0 student before he was shot and paralyzed, and he remained a 4.0 student after. But remember, this was a kid who had to relearn to read and write before he could graduate. Injured victim's family. He didn't have any answers, student. I'm trying to raise my kids normal, even though I'm not normal anymore. The children and Dave was the name of the teacher, I think, are what we need to remember. Columbine was a monstrous event in the history of the country. Even in the midst of the tragedy, we've seen the best there is to see about our nation and about human nature. President Bill Clinton at the groundbreaking. Nobody ever trained for this. We were just teachers doing what we do every day. When my mom finally found me, she just couldn't seem to let go of me for the rest of the day. We dedicated this ground to the Memorial of 13. We dedicated this ground to those who suffered physical harm. We dedicate this ground to the students and staff who were at Columbine High School. We dedicate this ground to all of their families and dedicate this ground to the community that is Columbine. We are Columbine. Lee Andrews, Columbine teacher. Rather than a loss of innocence, I've got a hope that something like this encourages us to be better people. The definition of normal changed on that day. The paramedics were actually under fire as we picked the kids up. Those of us who are people of faith in this community turned to God, found He wasn't silent. I think that this caused people to strengthen rather than shake their faith in God. We have a Lakewood SWAT team and Littleton Fire Rescue to thank for saving the life of our son, injured victim's family. They're here. Can you feel them? Our angels. Dawn Anna at the memorial groundbreaking. We remember every parent who battled depression and grief, anger, sorrow, who battled the relentless task of waking up knowing that their child would not come home. We remember every parent, every friend who spent countless hours in dozens of hospital rooms and beside vigils in slow and painful process of recovery. We remember our pain. We remember our sorrow. We remember our heroes. We remember those who in selfless acts of courage, who in sacrificial, dedicated, risked all in the time of crisis and need. Gino Garassi. A kid my age isn't supposed to go to that many funerals. the hardest part to understand was kids killing kids. It's still Littleton. It's still home to me. People talk about defining moments in their lives, but I didn't let this define me. Student. I don't think our school was any different than any other high school in America. Student. I no longer take anything for granted. Student. Shortly after April 20th, 1999, there was an outpouring of flowers, notes, poems, ribbons, stuffed animals, pictures, and other objects brought to Clement Park to pay tribute to those who died and were injured or traumatized. From the initial outpouring of emotions and disbelief, permanent public memorial near the high school, a memorial that would serve to honor those innocent victims, but also provide a historical record of this tragic and deliver a message of hope for many generations to come. My friend was laughing, and then it turned into crying, and I thought, my God, why is this happening to us? Student. I don't even know what happened to Jackson. He's over there reading them all now. You see him? So, I don't know. All my fans out there, we just have to love each other. That's it. Be kind to each other, and that's it. This is really William Dave Sanders. You guys want me to read this one to you? Born in Illinois, as a child he liked Davy Crockett, Little League baseball, and loved the sound of bouncing basketballs. Dave's young life was mentored by his high school basketball coach. He played basketball and cross country in college, then began his career in business. Teacher and coach, Dave encouraged students, family members, and friends to become better people through kindness and encouragement. He inspired many people to achieve their dreams, and his spirit lives on in everyone who loved him or knew him. Know that he loves you all and is with you always. He will always be only one thought away when we need strength, comfort. We have a lifetime filled with memories of a man we are so proud and kind to have known. So remember Dave for how he lived, not how he died. We are grateful for his final words. Tell my girls I love them. We love you too. Daniel Mouse. I don't know if you guys want me to read all these things to you. Okay. It is not easy to set up the life of a son and brother to his parents. He was a firstborn gift with spiritual dimensions that caused us to seek a deeper life. To his sisters, Christine, he was a fun companion, but also, where am I? There we go. But also one who was willing to share his wisdom and knowledge. To his sister Madeline, he will be the brother who was never known. But the presence will always be felt. To others, he will be the inspiration for how he tackled his own weakness and often overcame them in surprising ways. We remember Daniel as a boy with a gentle spirit and a shy grin, often charming and sometimes intense. He was just coming into his own. He still saw the world through a largely innocent eyes. He was an inquisitive and occasional madding adolescent who would challenge you to imagine your assumptions about most everything. In the most profound sense, however, Daniel was one who, despite difficulties, knew the inevitable sweetness of life, and it was part of him. It was a great blessing to have had him as a member of our family.
I want to go check that one out.
Which one?
Up there.
Is there one up there?
I think I want to go see.
Okay. Kelly Ann Fleming's. Okay. A writer and a poet, a gentle soul who walked among us. I step outside. What did I hear? I heard the whispers and the cries of the people, people's fears, the loneliness of wisdom. Can that be the sad, sad sorrow that I see? That is the past in the trees. It is true. Can it be real? Can I let them know how I really feel? The things that I have seen, the things that I have felt. Can that be the feeling of sorrow that I hope will soon melt wherever I looked? Wherever I turned, I see shadows all through the night. I put my head down and said a little prayer to tell the Lord and sad, sad sorrow and the lonely cries that I have heard. After a minute of silence and wisdom, I looked up slowly. I saw a thing that I have never seen. I saw a light, and I asked myself, can that be? Was it real, or was it just a dream? I didn't know, but hopefully it will come to me. It was a bright, and I was scared. I didn't know what or if should see. I looked, and then I came to me. It was a dream. Then I was turning to walk away. I heard a voice. Written by Kelly in 1998, her first draft, final draft, published in Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul. That was really neat. Isaiah Scholes. The love of God was first in Isaiah's eyes. The love of his parents, Vonda and Michael, was the highest of his life. His close relationships with his grandmother Bessie showed in his respect for others. He loved sports, playing jokes with his family, and taught to be loved. Love others no matter how they are treated them. Isaiah died in a room filled with hate and darkness. He now lives in a beautiful heavenly room filled with light and beauty. He would want you to look up and see the light, to put away the guns, hate, prejudice, and pride, and see great light that is love. He is the beautiful flowers God has picked for his heavenly garden to shine and be an everlasting light. Isaiah, we will always miss you. We will always love you from your family and friends. Stop doing wrong, learn to do right, maintain justice, and do what is right. Those who walk uprightly enter into peace. Lauren Townsend. A woman in the middle of a field, a flower kissing Jesus' wounds. I didn't see I could draw such beautiful pictures. I did tonight. It took me only 2 hours. I think something was guiding me other than just my hand. That is my dream. Then I want to kiss his wounds. Maybe it sounds corny, but I can't even describe how happy I would be if I could do that. Then I would hug him. He'd kiss me on the forehead, and we would just sit there hugging in the sun with the wind blowing in our hair, which is weird because it's really windy. The wind is God, because God is everywhere. Just that moment is worth living many lives for. I feel so peaceful and joyful, like I am one of the verge of enlightenment. There is so much more going on here, we realize. I do think humanity is losing touch with itself and their relationship with the surroundings. Unfortunately, usually takes a huge trauma to get people to realize that it is important, and I feel that it is what is going to happen to wake up everyone to get in touch with their spiritual sides. I am not afraid of death, for it is only a transition. For in the end, all there is love. You want to read now?
This is right here on the other side.
Yeah. Do you want to read now? This one is Corey D. Potter.
Corey was a young man who was full of life. He was a person that you would want to spend time with. He loved to talk, and he could have long conversations on the subjects he was passionate about. With his sense of humor, Corey could have a whole room laughing. Corey was an outdoors man at heart. Every free hour he had spent fishing. He loved the mountains, camping with his family, hunting, golfing, and fly fishing at Yellowstone. Corey had just turned 17 and was excited about his future. He was working at a golf course to save up for his first car. His goal was to become an officer in the Marine Corps. Corey looked forward to becoming a husband and a father and sharing his faith with his children. Corey cherished his family, his friends, and his life.
Stephen Cornell. Oh, wow.
Stephen Cornell at 14 was quiet, thoughtful, generous, and forgiving young man. He never held a grudge and was quick to offer help, encouragement, forgiveness, and friendship to family, classmates, and soccer teammates. Steve loved reading, watching adventure movies, and playing soccer. When Steve realized he was not skilled enough to make the high school soccer team, his dream of playing professional soccer was gone. But he never lost his love for the game. He continued to play on his recreational soccer team and was also a referee. Steve wanted to pursue his dream of becoming a naval aviator. He had found love of flying during his first plane trip of a family vacation to England. The plane hit some pretty rough turbulence, dropping altitude, tossing side to side, and shuddering. Talking on the plane suddenly stopped, with many of the passengers becoming white-knuckled and tightening their grips on their arms of the seat. 10-year-old Steve's reaction was, "Wow, that was so cool, let's do it again." Steve, you are forever in our hearts. Soar high and fly straight. We love you. Dad, Mom, and Nancy.
You read so fast. Matthew Ketcher. A gift from God.
As the sun rises, the eagles soar, and the wind whispers, "We'll remember you." Memories are moments of time, strung together, but in these moments of reflection, we will see the kindness in your eyes, hear your sweet chuckles of laughter, and feel the love for others in your heart. We will always remember your fondness for the outdoors, your passion for sports, and your dedication to academic success. You're broad, you're proud, and grin after you caught your first trout. You'll never be forgotten.
We
love to compete and strive for the best in all sports that you played. You love to win, yet your sense of fairness and integrity always prevailed. Academically, you shine so very bright. Never forgotten will be the moment when you were listening to music, watching a football game, and working on your algebra. When questioned about the distraction, using your Forrest Gump voice, you replied,
Alright guys, sorry. I am with you always, Matthew 28:20. Kyle Velasquez. You want to keep running again, or you want me to do it?
I'll do it.
Okay.
A young man who, as a child, struggled with developmental delays and learning disabilities. He knew his limitations, yet he wanted to be like every other kid. He was just beginning to really like who he was, and acceptance. I really like it was Kyle taught those who loved him so much about the unconditional love, compassion, forgiveness, perseverance, and acceptance. He was a true friend to those who chose to take the time to know him. He loved his brother Daniel, the family cats, ice cream, pizza, and riding his bike. He spent his time at home with his family, watching sports with Dad and going to the library with Mom. Cal had been a student at Columbine only 3 months and was just beginning to spread his wings. The world around him was beginning to open up for a young boy who had struggled through the school and life, but through all his delays and difficulties, he always smiled, forgave, and saw the good in those around him. Cal and his very much loved, he will always be missed and never forgotten.
Rachel Joy Scott. Alright, her middle name described her. She was a joy. Her beauty reflected her kindness and compassion. A month before her death, she wrote, "I have this theory that if one person can go out of their way to show compassion, then it will start a chain reaction of the same. People will never know how far a little kindness can go." Rachel had a sense of destiny and purpose. She also had a premonition her life would be short. She wrote, "Just passing by, just coming through, not staying long. I always knew this home I have will never last." The day she died, she told a teacher, "I'm going to have an impact on the world." Where am I here? Okay, and I'm going to have an impact on the world. In her diary, she wrote, "I won't be labeled as average." Her faith in God was expressed in prayer. She wrote, "I want to serve you. I want to be used by you to help others." Her final words were testimony to her life. When asked if she believed in God, she replied, "You know I do." God, you guys, it's really cold out here. John Tomlin. Born September 1st, John Tomlin was a young man with a broad smile and a bright eyes. As a kid, he loved cars, baseball, family, and God. As a teen, he added Chevy trucks and Green Bay Packers to that list. And his love for Jesus developed in him a strong set of Christian morals. John had a gentle disposition that parents and girlfriends dream of. The kind that I didn't need a heavy hand or discipline, and that made him an old-fashioned gentleman on dates. But his sunny disposition could not keep him from entering what many teens enter, a dark tunnel of loneliness, where God seemed far away. John didn't stay long in the tunnel. 7 months before his death, he reconnected with God and rediscovered the joy of his faith. The faith sustained John with courage and strength to face evil during the truth and the words of written long ago. "You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world." 1 John 4:4. Daniel Lee Rohrboy? I don't know. What will the world miss? A precious gift from God with engagement smiles and beautiful blue eyes that would light up the room. Sensitive, caring, always quick with a comforting hug. Funny kid with an infectious laugh and a quick comeback, so full of questions and wanting to know how things worked. Family was important to you and always included in your life. Just beginning your journey with so much to learn, yet you taught us so much. We miss you. Dad, I have a question. Why? My son in the nation that legalized the killing of innocent children in the womb in a country where... Oh, shoot, my battery's dying. We're in a country, which is really weird because it was fully charged when we left the house. Okay. were authorized would lie and cover up what... Wait.
My son in a nation
Sorry,
visualized the
guys.
killing of innocent children in the womb. In a country where authorities would lie and cover up what they knew and what they did in a godless school system. Your life was taken. Dan, I'm sorry. I love you, Dad. I'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m., April 9th, 1999. There's no peace, says the Lord, for the wicked. Isaiah 4:8.
Okay, this one I didn't read because it got really cold and I was just like, oh, you guys read it. So, Casey Renee Bernal.
Our Casey had an engaging laugh. Beautiful, so long blonde hair, clear blue eyes, and a big warm smile that she generously shared. Her loves were music, snowboarding with her brother Chris, photography, travel, and youth group. Seeking to be an, I don't know that word, an obstetricianist?
Obstetrician.
She dreamed of bringing new life into this world. Casey truly longed to know what heaven would be like, and she strived to know the Lord whom she would meet here. Her heart's desire was just to live for Christ. Weeks before her death, she expressed her anxious to see heaven, stating that she could hardly wait to get there. When asked how we would ever live without her, Casey simply replied, "Wouldn't you be happy for me? You know I'd be in a better place." Casey lost her life because of her belief in God. Although her dreams of ushering in a new life tragically ended, her stand continues to encourage many to seek new life through Christ. We miss her immensely, but know she's in that better place. Phil 3:10-11.
Okay, so there's a penny here.
Did you see the dime on that one?
On the dime. Oh, look at that. It's like a heart on the ground. Did you notice that? It's like a ribbon.
For peace.
Yeah. Never forgotten. Alright, guys. So this is the memorial of Columbine High School. We're going to go climb that mountain.
High school? Once we get up there.
What is that? Did you look at that?
Yeah, it's like a fountain.
It's just a fountain. And it's not warm outside. Alright, we gotta climb this wall, guys. We'll be right back. Oh, God. Okay, guys. That was freaking hilarious. I tried to jump, but I barely jumped. And I landed right on my tummy. Oh, snake holes. Snake holes.
A bunny.
Where? Oh. Look, you guys, a bunny.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
Run away, bunny.
Where is
he?
An
angel?
Camera.
Do
you guys see him?
It's an angel. It's one of the kids. Alright, you gotta keep moving.
I'm trying to get him on camera. You don't even see him on the camera. Oh, you guys see him? He's right there. He's blended in.
The hawk. He's gonna get eaten.
Ah!
That's why he ran, because that hawk.
Oh, God. There's
Wait,
a hawk up
hawk's a
there.
good symbol.
Yep. This is a big hill to climb. Oh, lots of snake holes. Oh, man, that was funny when I tried to jump that wall. Jackson just hopped it like it was that bunny. There's lots of little snake holes here, and I don't want to get bit by a snake. This is just a little adventure me and Jackson decided to go down. This is where they had the crosses, though. There's the high school. So the kids, I'm glad I brought Jackson here. This was a Jackson and Mom adventure. Not really scary, but kind of a history to Colorado. So feel free to look it up, you guys, if you want. But we're going to climb down this hill and walk across the park and back to our car. So I don't think you guys really want to watch us walk all the way over there. You watch us walk all the way over there. So here we go. We're gonna run down this hill. Ready? Go. Oh wait, maybe it's because I'm all zoomed in. That looks weird. Whoa, 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 whoa. Woo! Alright guys, well, we love you. And thanks for coming with us on this little exploration of Columbine High School. And remembrance of, you know, the community, Colorado. So, alright guys, peace out.